as a Nigerian entrepreneur. It's very key for us to be able to talk about how to succeed as a Nigerian entrepreneur because, we're in Nigeria and majority of the materials on being an entrepreneur out there have, very little of them is about the problems that we face as Nigerians, So I'm sure that our special guest here today is going to help us, really break down a lot of these things. He's going to be talking about our challenges, solutions, benefits, and a lot of pro tips that we'll be sharing. Mr. Eddie is a very, I'd like to say, successful entrepreneur in Nigeria as well. I'm sure even globally because his business is in travel as well, right? So I'm welcoming everybody again. You're all welcome tonight. If you can hear me, can you say something? I can hear you.
Thank you.
Right. So we'll kick off now. So I would like to just quickly introduce our special guest, Dr. Bemudia Eddie. He's actually a medical doctor and a travel consultant, CEO of Eddie Current Travel and Logistics Company. I'm sure he's very seasoned. He's very, very seasoned in being an entrepreneur. I am sure that he has a lot to give to us tonight. We have Mr. Ngosa Caesar. He's also a very experienced entrepreneur, and we're really looking forward to a lot of what they're going to say tonight. So just to give us a little bit of context, this event tonight, we have the topic self-leadership. And it's mostly us trying to share our stories. Our special guests here are going to share stories or their stories of how they became entrepreneur, how they started the journey of being a business person in Nigeria. Much earlier before now, we always used to the idea that as a young adult, you start, from secondary school, you go into the university, and when you're out of there, you get a job. But as time went on, we realized that the unemployment rate increased more and more, and we had less and less opportunities for jobs. A lot of us had to pivot into doing business. Some of us even started businesses without recognizing that we're entrepreneurs. We were trying to do some of these things on the side, and trying to hold what we could find. So today, our guests are going to talk about their stories of how they started their journeys as entrepreneurs. So I'm going to pass the mic, so to speak, to Mr. Eddie so he can kick off this meeting with us.
Hello, good evening. Thank you so much for the invitation to, okay. Yeah, sorry, I got your message. But, okay. So, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for the invitation to share my thoughts on this topic this evening. My session will be very brief because of timing. We are 13 minutes into the session already, so I'm going to be very, very brief. Now, I've been asked to come. My name is Eddie. My name is Dr. Eddie. I'm a medical doctor. I'm a practicing medical doctor, and I'm also a travel business. I run a travel business. And I run a travel business. I started off as a student practice. Now, I've been asked to come share thoughts on entrepreneurship, from self-leadership to success in entrepreneur, basically to highlight more how to identify business opportunity, experience, and experience, and also group. I like the chat section, so now let's go. Like we always talk, whenever you see any problem, every problem you encounter there is a business opportunity. Trust me, for the fact that there's a problem, automatically you can create solutions to those problems. you're able to create a solution to those problems, so you can make money from it. Create solution for all problems. There are some problems that are definitely bigger than us, and but they will take God, they use interventions to really create business around them. Let's talk. This is one of the easiest ways to identify a business. Most people always tell you, what you're passionate about, is that likely going to be a business for you? And that's correct. There's no argument about that. Yeah. But the next question you might want to ask yourself is now, what if I'm passionate about 15 things at the same time? Yeah, the people that have done multi, they are very talented. They're just passionate about like 10 things at the same time. They are good at doing 10 things. You now make the business out of those things. So that's what the question is. Well, let's stop this. If you're ever in a group of friends, or if at any time in life people constantly come to seek your advice on a particular issue, the chances that you can make a business out of that issue is high. I'll give an example. Back then when I was a medical student, I had the opportunity of traveling the world as a student, going for exchange programs abroad to the US and all that. And over time, when I come back to Nigeria, these people ask me, how it's not a business in US, can you run maybe protocols? I want for you. How you can decide to get a Canadian visa? What can you help me about that? And people they stand there like, wow. Instead of doing these things for this person for free, why not just start charging? You can take 20K from them on the US visa for them, and everything works out with. And I just started, and over time everything is scaled and it's very good. So whenever you see people asking you questions and seeking your insights, they're just seeking your advice on particular issues, the chances that you're likely going to create, you can create a business out of that, it's very, very high. It can be a consulting business to go. Every time people are coming to me to I have this emotional issue. What do you think is the best way? The next people are constantly coming to me. You can create a consulting business out of that. And trust me, you make money out of it. And that's very, very good. So that's the best way to do. Then secondly, another thing you must know is that when you identify any business, so any problem you want to solve, at least to create a business around. The next question you need to ask yourself is that there's what we call the design thinking model or problem tree. You might not want to use the problem tree to analyze it and say, okay, what are the causes of this problem? That's something that helps you a whole lot. Then the next thing, okay, these are the causes of this problem. Who are the people that are affected by this problem? Because the people affected by this problem are the people that you really going to save. And in saving those people, you of course definitely going to make money from it. So the next question I'm going to be, you might want to ask yourself is, how large is the market? It will be so nice that you just have a business and then the market is so limited and small. And I want to analyze the market. If I create this product, at least I can serve consumers. People in Lagos also want, people in Lagos also this kind of service I'm going to offer. For people in Texas, people in something like that. You need to also check. That's something you also go and check out. Yes, having done that, the next question, the next thing we need to do as young persons, we need to get knowledge. Yes, this is what you have knowledge about it. Everything you are doing, yes, if you don't have knowledge about this investment, about that investment, you never put the money. Same thing, you need to also have knowledge about the business, about the things that you work on. Yeah, and how to get knowledge. You can get knowledge down today. That's one of the easiest things. Let's assume I want to get well, event management. What is to stop you from going there? Or it's very better of these people, very better of network. So in attending events, you get to get knowledge. You also take up online courses. And the good thing that you want to do local. When I just want to go and I need to get something, I just tap on XYZ and YouTube videos are there. So we need to take, you can take up online courses. There's Coursera, there's reality network, we have online courses on business and everything. So many other stuff, and I know there are so many courses about also working business things. Many of them for very just on business. You don't get this knowledge. I know you also want to sign up for a business acquisition program and you like to do it. Yeah, that's one thing that makes you is kind of good. You must get knowledge. I'm not getting knowledge here. I'm not going to show them to do. You must show them to do that. You must need to do that. And for business, I want to, except for those imagine you want to start up because of people you need customer relationship. You need to learn how to reach customers. So customers. Okay, I started my business. That's why I was convinced that in this life, people have to use Nigeria, not even different. People have money. They just want you to put a solution on the table, make their life easy, and they will go the extra mile to go and do it. So, not just you need to upskill yourself, you need to get to know about business, what how to handle finances. Yes. Back when we in secondary school, they taught us commercial planning and budget, business studies, we taught cash flow, how to record transactions, income, inflow, outflow, and then how to balance sheet and budget. You need to transfer your own business, but you need to know that you are making profit. Then you need to go and learn how to handle business like that. Not much. But you also even want to learn how to brand your business, how to talk about your business. No one thing. Many of us are very business. I know they talk about it. Firstly, you can't do business successfully without being I would say loud mouth. You just have to have loud mouth and talk about it. So you need to go and get upskill yourself. Then one thing we also encourage people to do, you need to volunteer for business that you need time. If you what opportunities there. I mean, we never talk about volunteering. The only thing that comes to most people's mind is volunteer for an NGO, just volunteer for an NGO, volunteer for a business. If I volunteer for a business, if I want to run a boutique business and I know that someone is already running this business and I can go and make the business, okay, can I sign up and run this business and let me just learn the ropes and let me learn the ins and the outs of this business. You don't need to pay me. Sometimes it's not about being paid like this. Money will always come. I get it. So, I want to volunteer for someone that already runs so successfully. Having done that, the next thing I encourage people, you must not do a full business registration. You don't have the entire money. But one thing I always encourage, please secure your business name. Do a business name registration. That is very important. We don't want to run a business for 10 years. So, for 6 months. And the business are scared, people are coming to meet you, and the next thing you're trying to register, they're telling you, name has no longer on. The name has been taken by another business. Trust me, it's not something you want to really counter. It's really bad. Trust me, it's quite very bad. So, even if I also tell people most times never have meetings, and then I see before you go to your logo, go and secure that business, and that's good business, and that's one. Secure your business. If you don't have the money to do this complete business registration, don't worry, money will come from it. Then, another thing must also need to be you need to also learn to have a value proposition. Yeah. I think I saw you see a video, sorry, on Instagram, I think TikTok. Someone just said like, and she said something that was very funny. She was like, the challenge we have with young person, that they say, I want to do this, but I'm doing it. So there's no need for me to go into that. Like, go into that business, trust me. Most people that actually they cannot serve everybody. You cannot serve everybody. So then what you need to do, have a value proposition. Go into it, have a value proposition. This is what I'm giving my customers. Will I be giving them, will I be more reliable? Or will I be giving serving them maybe faster, giving them faster? Cheaper is not you say your product is cheaper, it's not a good business. It's not a good what's it called? Value proposition. I think you have to cheaper. Like people that have money don't want to get that one cheaper. So I think that was one thing that I have done that business. So cheaper, like you always tell us, it's not a good value proposition. Just the type of one that's probably which you do like almost 1 million, almost, yeah, but it doesn't make sense. So it's also something I want to check. Have a very solid value proposition. What are your just look at sometimes I tell me what are your clients doing? So what are your competitors already doing that we need to do better? Okay. My competitors are selling at 10 naira and it takes 5 days to deliver. I will still sell at 15 naira and it will take 2 days to deliver. That's a value proposition. And so we must try to have a very solid value proposition. And the next thing we also try to encourage people to is learn to deliver more than what your client has paid for. I'm not saying they pay for let's assume you have the fashion business and then they pay for that shirt. Now give them 6 months. No, that's why. In the sense that like go beyond, like you must be after their satisfaction. Trust me, you must go after your client's satisfaction. Deliver beyond what they paid for. Oh, they paid for this shirt. Well, and that's also even going beyond what they are trying to pay. Oh, you paid for this shirt. Can I come and deliver it? Can I send it? Can I come deliver it to you? Yes. That's so cool. So learn to pay, learn to what's it called? Deliver more than whatsoever everybody has paid for. Then another thing you also want to do not stress your clients. This like I think it's like one of the most important key points for today. People don't like to be stressed. Nobody ever likes to be stressed. And if you have a business and you run your business, whatever you are, whether you are baking cake for people, or you are, let's assume you have a laundry business, or let's assume you have an event business, as long as you do not stress the people that are patronizing you, trust me, you will make hell of money from their head and you will be surprised. So you must definitely learn not to stress people. Your clients will not be stressed. Like, that's one thing I always tell people. And then, go back to and also keep feedback from your clients. After you begin yourself, actually, I never see that and that's one thing I know about that. You never be like, really you are done flying and your flight are flying, you really know 2 hours. I agree with you. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah. You have to share with your clients. You might get feedback from selling better. Please collect feedback from your clients and use it to improve. That's one thing that's reflect over time. Like always ask people, so what do you think I could have done better? And it helps. And as something I'm also going to chip in here is the fact that we really need to learn how to handle what's called difficult clients in business. That's one of the challenges many of us face in our business. Like, but see, first of all, humans are insatiable. That's one thing. Have that at the back of your mind. So, like we say, please deliver beyond what we paid for. Now, to drive on that point, this is what I'm going to drive out. There are sometimes when you deliver products to people, you just start shouting on your phone like that. I need to do, let's say, 5-step cake. We did 5 steps. Did 5-step cake, but like the last step was bent and all this, and you just shouting on your phone. Please, it's not the best way to start replying. That's where one place many of us make mistake when we run business. You don't start replying, you say, but actually this is now, but you don't shout for them. Like I said, with your clients, they always say, I think there's noise at the background here. So, you more not, whenever your clients are upset, that's not the way to start replying them. You want to be defensive at all, just calm down and empathize with them. And you something with that, I'm so sorry. Whenever you do we are sorry, I'm going to fix this. But that's what I reach out to them. That's why I'm just passing them. Like, I didn't ask person of them to do this. Don't worry, I'll fix this thing for you. I'm going to fix it. So, must learn to empathize. Yeah, empathize, that's what. So, you must not learn at those stakes where clients are shouting, they are agitated, and you must not reply them like, you must not be, so they don't know that you don't like them. You will not be defensive. You definitely don't be defensive. Actually, they like you for that. And then when they are done shouting at them, some other thing, and I'm calling, okay, this was the challenge actually, however, don't worry, I'll fix it up. However, you know that you actually did what we're supposed to do. So what we're supposed to do. That's something that works, and that's one thing I always try to encourage over and over. If you've called customer care in banks, now sometimes many of us go to the bank, you'll be like, they enter this bank, they are going to seize all their computers and all. When you enter, when the customer care staff will go and do it, you want to go back, you want to give them money, like, so that's what I'm saying. So like it is that you have clients and you have clients and you keep having clients over and over and over again. And to also we always have trouble pleasing. Okay, so that's what works. So then another skill we must also learn to have. Another we must also learn to in business that we always tell us, please do not try to mix your business finance with your personal money. Most times you just end up stagnating. You won't know if you are running across or if you are even running at, you are making a really lot of profit. So, and the good thing is that there are so many fintech platforms you can use to even automate savings, collect money from clients and all the rest. So, another skill, like I always say, please learn business finances. Trust me, learn how to learn business finances. Another thing was like, when I was talking about getting knowledge, I want to even learn how to write business plan. That's the knowledge you want to get. And the good thing is that there are many business plans available. There's it today, I think application is ongoing now, should expire by March 1st. If I'm not wrong. Yeah. I want to learn how to write business plans. And trust me, those things are skills you can learn. And you will learn it, I will educate you that I will make money from that. I will make money. off and bringing money from them. So that's one thing I'm so meant to do. And on the part of perseverance, I always thought, see, the business climate in Nigeria is, see, the climate in Nigeria is harsh. Like when I mean harsh, it's very, very difficult. But trust me, like I always also like water, Nigeria is a country where it is a very difficult country. Everything is hard, difficult, and it's what business was not becomes easy. So over time, must always learn to be okay. This is challenge you are facing. What's better way to do it? And if you're not making sales, like I always talk about, you are not making sales in your business, so you're thinking of maybe moving to another business. Before you even move to another business, first question you need to ask is that, are you overcharging your clients? Because no one thinks Nigerians have money, and I say, yeah, Nigerians have money. You need to check, like, am I really overcharging them? I think I'll be doing 5 minutes, and yeah, I'll be doing 5 minutes. Yeah, so are you overcharging your client? That's one thing that's also benefit. You're offering this service, another person is offering that service almost at the same rate, but you know, sometimes when people overcharge and they don't deliver the specification, there's something I brought in recently. I delivered to my friend in Lagos. My friend just told me that, how much did you pay like this? I thought it was going to be nice, everything looks so fine on Instagram. When my friend saw it and I had very poor. He sent his stuff to me. Now when I picked it up, I said, so I paid for it. They overcharged me, but no, money has come through. But that's so you need to check out that you overcharging your clients. So are you also stressing them? Nobody likes stress, trust me. Nobody likes stress. My friend just said, okay, how about we go and get an office space at the airport? I just said, like, get an office space at the airport. You think somebody that wants to be a client, I want to process a visa. You need to see your let's say person staying at home, and get your name. And I travel down to the airport to the UK. I want to make it like you basically can easily do this out. Why not try to make a mission that why you are at home? Send me the message, we process everything for now. We want to process it, visa. You don't need to come to our business, just send us the international passport, send us the document we require from you. So you must also need to check. That's why you must not stress your client. Any business you are doing, you want to deliver a cake, you're in the logistics business, stress people, you don't know structure. Let's not just go there. Then, this is to ask you, are you running your business? Trust me, friends, you must learn to talk about our business. See, there's no room for shyness. All that is like, so like, I see that I ask people, like, why are you shy? Shy about what? Will anybody picture? You know about that? Every mother is 10 years. Nobody will picture. I get it. So the only time I will be shy is okay if I want to borrow money from somebody and I do that not pay. That's when I should be shy. I get it when I know that I'm chronic debt. So that's when I'm going to offer you these things. So why they should I be shy? So, because that's why you must never be shy. But talk about it. Nobody will brand your business. Somebody will talk about your business far more than actually how you do it. So you must not talk about it. Utilize platforms that are able to talk about it. And then I that you also learn to actually have you are not that's that's where you first clients are complaining and then yes like after paying you're to kind of wala and go away. You will not get clients again. You will not get all the customers that will look get it too. That's also something you also need to try to check about. And like I always say in business, if in January you made 50,000 hours profit and in February you made 51,000 hours profit, that's just giving someone to trust you to be successful. Practice, like practice show that give yourself a pat on the back. Yeah, you are really successful. You must not always wait to hit one big man when I say, yeah, I was very successful. If you match in January, you set 20 clients, you baked 20k for 20 people a day. Then baked 21, that's success already. You must not wait. Even if it's 1 naira because one 7 naira because that's profit. So I'm not very well. Great to see. I also said my friend that when I started as a student, that the only business and making it medical content. I was not getting enough clients as I'm getting them. Not having enough successful support. But to get as clean. The last point. In January, my friend and I were having a conversation. He told me that if there's a travel things in Lagos, he says over 900 admission when I got in the UK and out of which somewhere like 15 months of 6 for them. That's so nice. And he was just telling me, you need to escape from the problem. That's easy. I put your situations. Now, I wouldn't want to start comparing myself with an 18 for things. Most people might have been running for years for like the past 10 years. Of course, if I do 12 successful between January, obviously by this year, of course, there'll be 100 again. This time, so, though I need to speak as I'm starting. You know, I know it's so much. We'll just be sure to my so thank you so much. I definitely appreciate this opportunity to done speaking.
All right, thank you so much, bro. Thank you. That was amazing. I'm sure we all enjoyed and picked up a lot of points that you shared. You know, you talked. That was my favorite among all the things that you said was how we should learn to innovate and apply technology. And it's also important for us to brand our businesses as well. So this is very, very exciting. Thank you, Mr. All right. So I'm going to quickly introduce our very special head of the business community for NNY, and I just wanted to message before we go on.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sergeant Indonesia. I am head of business and entrepreneurship NNY is a organization which tries to empower, teach, and grow better Nigerians that can be better citizens, not just of the country, but can go out to spread the good news of Nigerians. Okay, we have different communities. We have business community, which I am a partner of here. We have the green community, the advocacy, and the green community focus is to focus on agriculture. Okay, we have different teach and grow and train new agro farmers, people who are going to span out to be great agricultural experts. The advocacy are people who strive to help the less privileged, not just the less privileged, but also educate people on who a good Nigerian is, who a new Nigerian should be. What is the benefit of being a Nigerian? Okay, we advocate for Nigeria. Okay, we need more volunteers, and we're reaching out to everyone on this platform to key into that vision of making Nigeria greater than what it is now. Okay, NNY is the new Nigeria as an advocacy service. Okay, we are trying to build a society that is free of corruption, and we can't do it individually. We are looking out to each and every one of us to put in helping hand in doing that. Okay, you can all. Okay, and that's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just to add to what he said, I'm going to quickly read this quote for us. We complain a lot about how Nigeria is, not really going as great as we would hope for it to be, But the question is, what are you contributing to that change happening? This is like the fundamentals of actually being a leader. Like, you have to be a change agent. You're trying to see how you can be on your way out of the country as soon as possible. But the question is, what have you done where you are at this, wherever you are, especially as a Nigerian in Nigeria? It's very important for you to be the type of person that can effect change. And this is one thing that we stand for as new Nigerian youths. So, like our colleague said, follow us on our platform, NNY Initiative on IG and Facebook. And you can also join some of our events where we will get to share a lot of resources and trainings that will help us be better Nigerians and be change agents in our own spaces. So thank you so much, Mr. Osorio. I would like to introduce our next speaker. He goes by the name Mr. Ifonwosa Giles. He's an entrepreneur and he has a lot of experience. He's going to help us talk about being a Nigerian entrepreneur, talk about the challenges and solutions, some pro tips for us to, really achieve success as Nigerian entrepreneurs. IK.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is, my full name is Ibosa Caesar Gaifolobarase. I run a furniture company and an interior company too. For the sake of academics, I am an economist. I have economics and statistics, a master's in economics and a master in the Nigerian profitability, even in the Nigerian business class. No, Nigeria is a huge country in terms of population and land mass, and there's a whole lot of opportunity in this country for goods and services. With a population of over 190 million people, it means that every single person in this demography generates demand. Every day you eat, every day you, a lot of people get clothes every other day. You walk on the streets, you see orange sellers, you see people that fry, what they call it, pole. You have boutiques everywhere. You have, there's so much, you have tailors, you have furniture makers, you have so much of people doing one thing or the other. That's because entrepreneurs is part of our natural being as Nigerians. Nigeria has a huge dual economy. It means Nigeria has, how will I put it now? There's something called an established part of the economy, like the banking sector. Those are part of the established parts. The medical sectors, they are very established. But at the same time, Nigeria has a very mighty other side, almost, if not up to 60% of the value of what the established economy brings in. We have a huge dualized economy that is not accounted for. There is no record at all concerning this part of the economy. It means you have the tailors in Yoruba Street. Government does not know how much they make every day. You have the volunteers. All government knows that every day they give them a bill of 100K as a fine to pay. You have the wheelbarrow pushers, you have a whole lot of sectors that is not accounted for. When you look at Nigerian statistical bulletin, yes, it's so easy for us to say, okay, every year our GDP is in the excess of $400 and something billion, $500 and something billion. But that's not actually true, because majority of what is analyzed into Nigerian defined GDP is based on the established economy and based on the tax government is able to accrue to themselves. Everybody knows that in developing economy, because everything is not accounted for, there's so much opportunities. That's why you see a lot of foreigners coming to do business, cashing out, especially the Indians and the Chinese. They are cashing out every day, repatriating huge funds of money back to their economy. All the Nigerian system is able to take from them is just tax. If they decide to tell lies or lie to about what they actually make from those goods or services, nobody actually knows about those things. So in the Nigerian space, regardless of the kind of business you are involved in, whether it's a good business, whether it's up to standard, whether it is of high quality, whether it's able to meet international standards, there is a market. There is a market for good and bad businesses in Nigeria. I wouldn't encourage anyone to go into a bad business, but what I mean by bad business is that there are a lot of goods and services coming out of this country that is not even up to standard. But those particular goods and services that are not even up to standard, they have a huge market for it. Because it's not every Nigerian that can afford standard based on the price. That's why when you want to sew a particular kind of clothes, you know a particular kind of clothes that's within the range of 30,000 to 40,000. You know the kind of tailor you go to. When you want to sew the one that is 5,000 or 4,000, you know the kind of tailor you go to. The truth about these two goods delivery is that no matter what you see, the one of 30,000 is of more standard. It's just like you are using Shea Body. Does anyone know Shea Body? It's one of the biggest Nigerian tailor right now, it's just like you are using shave board local tailor in your street. It's not the same grade. They don't produce the same goods. But what I'm saying in the essence of comparing both of them is that Shea Body has a huge market, while that tailor down your street also has a huge market. So regardless of what you are producing, regardless of the standards, we are so blessed in this country that regardless of if you are selling granite, you understand, and your granite is not well peeled or bottled, and you have another person that there's always a market for it. Whether you decide to deliver a bad good, do a bad delivery or a good delivery, there's a market for you in Nigeria. But the thing about it is that time will tell, because as soon as as much as you know, Nigeria is improving every day, people are now coming to realization that okay, it's better for me to get something that is not so cheap, that is of standardized quality, that is going to last for a considerable number of time. You understand that to get something that once I use it for a year or a year 6 months, it's broken down. Let's say a piece of furniture you can still pay 600, 700,000 for a complete set of furniture, and you are sure that okay, this is going to last for me. At the long run, the products that have better quality will always last longer than the one that doesn't. So the question to the Nigerian entrepreneur right now is not whether there is profit or not. It's not whether there is profit or not. For doing business in Nigeria, there is always profit. The thing about it is that how much profit do you want to make as an entrepreneur? That is the real question. That is the dilemma in the Nigerian entrepreneur space. How much profit do you want to make? For example, you are into tailoring. There is so much, there is a limit to which you, as a tailor, can produce. I'm not sure, I think the highest number of clothes a single person can produce using the Nigerian style of tailoring, when you have a tailoring machine and all that, is about 2 complete clothes a year. You have 2 trousers and 2 shirts, that's up and down, 1 up and down. You can only produce 2 complete clothes. That is even a stretch for most tailors, 2 complete clothes a day. So, and in producing 2 complete clothes a day, there's already a stated amount or a fixed amount of profit you can earn from those 2 complete clothes a day. You get, so the extent to which you now want to make money, to make more money, means it needs to be matched against whether you want to expand or not. It means you need to profitability now is now related to whether you want to grow, whether you want to expand that business or not. How much money do you want to make as against just doing a single man's business and getting a single man's profit? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, that's the context we are looking at now, and it is in this context of expansion that the challenges, a lot of the challenges of doing business comes to play. In expanding your business as a Nigerian entrepreneur, those are what brings about numerous challenges. In expanding, that's when you start seeing the reality of Nigeria, that this country is not really good, or this country gets a lot of challenges. This is what I just saw today, you understand. It's really affecting me negatively. So some of the challenges that entrepreneurs encounter in Nigeria is that the political and the environmental, the business and the political climate in Nigeria is very, very volatile. It's very, very volatile. Let me give an example. A government or an entrepreneur that is into tailoring, I will keep using tailoring because I think that a lot of people can really relate to that. An entrepreneur that is into tailoring, for example, that has 2 tailors can decide, or like we know, some Nigerian entrepreneurs or some Nigerian tailors, they actually send their clothes abroad to Nigerians abroad, or even to Black Americans abroad. You get a lot of our products are selling already abroad. You have people that are into small time agriculture. You have institutions, you have government agencies that help you package and everything. You sell to them, and it means in doing this you meet face to face with exchange rate. And everybody knows what Nigerian exchange rate is. We are actually in the center of an exchange rate crisis due to inflation, due to the devaluation constantly of the naira, due to our bad economy. So if you are, by any means, you've done international trade or have to trade the dollar to buy or sell any goods outside this country, you know what it means by the political or the economic or the business environment. It's very volatile. For example, our government can wake up tomorrow to change our exchange rate overnight. They usually interface in market forces every now and then just to get what they want instead of making the economy grow naturally through the forces of the market. So, the cost of doing business in Nigeria is very. That's the other challenge of the Nigerian entrepreneur. For example, I think right now we're in a fuel crisis. 2 days ago, I got 1 liter of fuel at 130 naira. And today I went to the filling station, it was 204 naira for a liter. Automatically, you, for example, let's say you made a cloth for someone 2 days ago, and you actually bought you actually bought fuel for your generator. Of course, it has already affected the cost of producing a cloth just within a week, in the span of a week. The cost of doing business has already, the cost of the economy, the cost of getting, which is the particular goods you need to execute your own product, has already affected your product. Let me not even go into other things that can affect it. So that is what an example of the cost of doing business. If you have the electric power supply, we run generators, we run diesels, we run solar and just in normal in the case of PDC supply, which is usually cheaper than running all those things. So, scarcity of manpower. For example, let me use my business as an example. In the furniture business, Benin used to be known for good craftsmen. Benin used to be known for good craftsmen when it comes to furniture. Up till now, Benin has some of the best furniture company in Nigeria, whether you know it or not. There is a furniture company called Boboshodi. They are so exclusive that they don't even supply to the Nigerian market. Boboshodi exports furniture from Benin to Italy and European countries and America every single year. So if Nigeria wants to get access to those furniture, they go to Italy, they go to Europe to buy back this furniture as Italian made. Why? Because Nigerians cannot afford Boboshodi. Why? Because of the kind of skilled manpower he uses in producing these items. For example, how many people can afford a furniture, a piece or a set of furniture worth 15, 18 million naira? So most of the time, the showrooms are situated in Italy and all those things. So scarcity of manpower is one of the challenges of doing business in Nigeria. And it also affects the expansion of business. Because, for example, in the furniture business now, we depend on skilled craftsmen. Without skilled craftsmen, it's not possible for you to expand. Your expansion, your growth, and everything is based on how much good your craftsmen are and how many they are. Of course, if you're looking at my account and this income flow of the accounts, so bankers record on history of the account tend to prevent you with loans. So I've been on the contact with this bank now. When I wanted to start my business, I tried to apply for loans and they didn't answer. They said no, they can't. You understand? So they were enticing me with all kinds of loans. Oh, we can invest so and so amount into your business and all that. You get. But that's a very dangerous thing for an entrepreneur to do. Because an entrepreneur without an experience will definitely want to invest now with a bank loan. I always advise people that should be your last resort. Because for you to be able to utilize capital, you must have cheap labor to be able to utilize that capital. If not, you will carry the bank loan, your craftsmen, your labor, your workers are needed, and the capital is lying value. Since you are not utilizing that capital, you are not changing this capital into goods, which will invariably give you profit. You'll be paying an interest rate on idle capital. That is the risk. So it's not just enough for everybody to say, oh, I need a loan from a bank. No. Before you ever need a bank loan, you have to have business experience. And most after your business experience, you need a 30 million bank loan or a 50 million bank loan. It's not necessary now. So that depends on it. And also another challenge in Nigeria is that there's uneven distribution of wealth in Nigeria. There is also the dominance of the youth and the commercial net in Nigeria. For example, I think in Nigeria, Nigeria has over 10,000 whether cities, mini villages that they call cities and towns. It's about 10,000 numbers. But the numbers of Nigerian cities that account for 90% of wealth, of value, of the market shares in our economy, they are just about 15. And out of that 15, Lagos accounts for over 30% of the market value of Nigeria. The other three cities that account for about 30% too is Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Ibadan. While the other about 12 cities account for the next 30% of the market value in Nigeria, which is Benin City, Kano, Enugu, Warri, Owerri, Kaduna, Uyo, Calabar, Onitsha, Asaba, and Aba. Those are the only cities. It means every other city in Nigeria, every other village, every other town only accounts for less than 10% of the market value in Nigeria. So that's why you see a lot of people running towards Lagos. Lagos is now like more like too congested. So that's another problem in Nigeria. Everybody wants to go to Lagos. Everybody wants to go to Abuja. Everybody wants to be in Port Harcourt or in Ibadan. So those are challenges in the Nigerian economy. Okay, and another challenge for entrepreneurs in Nigeria is that in relation to expansion, let me use an example of the banking sector. Everybody knows the history of some of our banks in Nigeria. We have the expansion of banks. We have some banks that went from being a regional bank or being a state bank to being a national bank. Right now, I think the top four banks in Nigeria are First Bank, Access Bank, Zenith, and GT Bank. They are not just continental banks, they are international banks. While we have some banks that took risky business policies and all that in terms of expansion, and they went bankrupt, like Thai Bank right now, like we have Keystone Bank. We have a lot of them. We have Echo Bank that was bought over. We have Diamond Bank. These are big names in the bank. Entrepreneurs that will actually go to jobs from. You get it's not just about expansion. It's about growing your market. It's about growing the and everything to know how to survive in Nigeria. For example, in Lagos, some entrepreneurs don't know that going to Lagos can actually kill their business. Or going to Abuja can actually kill their business. Yes, Lagos has over 30% of the market value of Nigeria. But at the same time, the cost of operating in Lagos is so high that sometimes when you go to a city like Lagos, it's better to be in some of our other local cities like Enugu, produce from Enugu, and live on the income to sell your goods. You get all you have to do For example, you are into tailoring, you are very good. Everything is on internet. People see your product on the net and they make demands for it. Once you supply, it's just the cost of transportation or the cost of delivery from Enugu to Lagos. That's all you have. But you moving to Lagos, you understand, without having that finance, without having the backup, without having a space to express your creativity, can actually within 6 months doom your business because of the cost of operation. Your rent alone, you of course you'll be making huge profit, but that profit you are making is going to be eroded by rent, even by your own living space. Transportation in Lagos, sometimes you see that even delivery from mainland to island is even way more higher than doing a delivery from Enugu to Lagos. So some of the solutions to this problem should be that entrepreneurs are advised to know their environment properly. Physical environment should be known so that you'll be able to establish the cost of operation. Also, too, expanding, you have to grow your manpower. Grow your manpower. Your expansion should be dependent on your manpower. Your expansion should be dependent on your manpower. You cannot have 2 tailors, for example, plus you pay, and you are taking a 30 million naira loan, or you are looking for someone to give you a 5 million naira loan. What are you going to use the 5 million naira for? When the interest rate starts reading, you start having sleepless nights. There's no way 3 tailors will be able to utilize 5 million naira to make profit from that money. You get instead, the money will be lying fast because you can't utilize it. How much is the machine? I think an electronic machine now for tailoring about 250,000 naira. So what the kind of finance you need or support you need for that kind of small business is within the space of 1 million or 1.2 million naira. As you grow, as you add more tailors, as you establish yourself, then you can need more funds. Instead of having a lot of idle capital in your hands, that will become a liability instead of an asset. 3, understand your business properly and try to acquire experience. Like the first speaker says or said, volunteer yourself. If you are interested in going into furniture, volunteer yourself into a furniture company. So just basically get experience. Just volunteer yourself. You don't need to be paid for anything. Automatically, there's this thing. Despite Nigeria is not so bad that you can no longer actively now. There's something some of my cousins, just graduated about 10-12 years. Some of them volunteered themselves in MPD. This was not an internship. It was not a youth service posting. So between the time of graduation, of writing our final exam and going for youth service, about 5 of them volunteered themselves. All they did is that they went to the MD of MPD to say, okay, we read economics and statistics and would like to volunteer ourselves into your organization. They spoke very well, convinced the guy that, see, you don't have to pay us anything. You understand? And that's how, right now, 4 or 5 of them are working in MPDC because of the value they were able to bring during their time of volunteering. The GMD even went as far as influencing their service year to be done in his office. That's what volunteering can help you do. It gives you an insight, it gives you an experience, it gives you a whole lot of knowledge into the kind of business you will love cooperating. You'll be able to get first-hand experience from all those people that are already doing well in this business. Come on, if you must. Sorry, how many minutes do I have there?
Yeah, you have just
You don't carry on. If you must expand, please get your insurance policy right. Get your insurance policy right if you must expand your business. No matter, insurance sounds like a very big word. But trust me, insurance is very, very basic. It's very, very basic. For example, your car insurance is about 3,500 every year. That's what they ask you to pay. The top I've ever seen anybody pay for his car for insurance is about 2,000 every year. No matter how the car is, it now means it's business insurance. Because sometimes when you mention insurance, small business owners are very scared. They're like, man, that one are for big people. And people will don't get fast, get this one. You understand? But the thing is that it's not true. That's the thing. Like insurance goes for both ways. Do you know that as far as your business is registered, I think to get a business name right now, I don't know how much it is, but I think it's not more than 30,000 naira from start to finish to register a business name. It used to be 10,000 naira. Then it went from there to 15,000 naira. Let's say because of the situation in Nigeria, it's now 50,000 naira. As far as your business is registered, you have an opportunity, you have a choice to get your business insured, and it can always help out. Yes, there are instances when something bad happens to your business and the insurance company is not able to cover up every payment they actually promise you, but give up to 40-50%. That is good enough. Instead of starting all over from the scratch. Then 5.
Let me just quickly interrupt you here a bit for just a quick message. Please, I'm sure we have questions. I'm very sure that some of us are keeping notes of all these suggestions that are being made. They're very soon, and we can ask our questions. We'll give some time to prepare us, and their guest speakers will answer the questions.
Okay. 5. For young entrepreneurs, actually, you don't have to be alpha and omega of your business. Business actually does not survive on one person alone. Even if it's a small business, you get a lot of, for example, how many of us know that LAPO, live at poverty organization, is actually the biggest microfinance bank in Nigeria? It's so big that LAPO's profit every month sometimes rival the profits that Access Bank makes. The federal government of this country and the central bank has actually approached Dr. Edenigamu, that's the owner of LAPO and the founder, that change LAPO into a commercial bank, but he has refused. That brings me back to the same thing I've been speaking about. Profitability as against expansion. Access Bank is a big bank. You get, but at the same time, the overhead is so high. LAPO is a microfinance bank, not the biggest microfinance bank, but the overhead is so low, and they make more profit than Access Bank. Why? Because the man knows his business very well. He actually chose to operate in the environment in which he has mastered over the years, rather than to expand his business to areas that he would not be able to operate or control the business. Because automatically, once you expand your business, of course, I'm not against expansion. Once you expand your business, or from a microfinance bank to a commercial bank, it means now you have to publicly trade shares. Because all commercial banks have to be publicly traded companies. So people will be forced to buy into that business automatically. Yes, you might be the biggest shareholder, but you will not have, you might also be the biggest controlling shareholder for a single person. Automatically, you will not be the only decision maker. It now means that the public has access to everything you are doing. What I was saying, you don't have to be the alpha and omega of your business. You can actually partner with other people so that operating costs and risk can be shared amongst all of you. For example, small tailoring shop that has about 3 tailors and the main person is there just creating you can actually partner with small tailoring companies to expand. Those are kind of expansion that can actually help entrepreneurs in Nigeria. When you collaborate with people, of course, you have to get your legal paper very, very, very well. Because if not, in the future, as far as there's human interaction, then you're only disagreement. But once you get your legal work strong and ready, you are good to go. These 4 tables that have 3 workers come together, that makes them 12. With that kind of operation, they will be able to achieve a lower overhead. If one of them were incurring about 50,000 monthly, 4 of them might decide to find with good operation, be able to incur 100,000 as their overhead instead of on their operating cost, instead of 200,000 naira. With that kind of force, with that kind of packaging, with that kind of presentation, they will be able to accept stronger clientele than every single one of them individually. So partnership for entrepreneurs are very, very important. But at the same time, it should be executed within the law. 6, let me take us back to internet. We have to leverage as young entrepreneurs on the internet. And you have the biggest internet space. No, not just in Africa. Not just in Africa, also because of our population. Nigeria has more people on Twitter than the whole of Ghana population. Nigeria has more people on Twitter. So when it comes to the various opportunities we have as the Nigerian entrepreneur, a Ghanaian entrepreneur does not even have that, does not have access to that kind of space, does not have access to that kind of market. Yes, that's why they are within ECOWAS, which we can even also leverage by buying into the larger market of ECOWAS. But at the same time, we have a huge and a mighty homegrown economy that we can leverage on, and the internet has been able to make this penetration by young entrepreneurs very high without usually going into a lot of risk that old businesses actually encounter when they were growing without the internet. Then lastly, my final point is that in all these things we've said concerning challenges, concerning solutions, the entrepreneur needs to be a master of his business, because it's only he or her that can figure out solutions, that can figure out the right fix, or okay, this can work for my business. I've gotten 2, 3 years and 4 years experience about this. I've had some setbacks. And for crying out loud, setbacks in business are not bad at all. They are part of business experience, because the setback you get in your first, second, third, fourth year in businesses will help you in your 10th year. Will help you when you are into business for 15, 20 years. They will always be experience. Cannot be shortchanged in business. If not, your business will crash. No matter how wealthy you are, no matter you could ask big business or you could read about them. Nobody enters a business with their 2 feet into it. If you have 100 million to invest into a business, for example, it's advisable to start with the first 10 million or the first 20 million, while you keep the 80 million in the bank. As your business operation grows, as you develop your business operation, you start getting experience that no other person can teach you. No seminar can teach you about experience. You cannot listen enough. You cannot read enough as against experience. You cannot read enough and make your business successful. You cannot listen to people talk and make your business successful enough. You must get that experience. If not, it won't work. That's why you see a lot of business close within the first 5 years, because of experience, because they are not immersed in themselves. Some types of business are in operation, but they are not getting the right experience because the owners are scared. Because they are not active business owners. They are not active entrepreneurs. They are just, okay, I get a customer today. Yes, I satisfy their request. If I not get tomorrow I go rest. You get, they are not pushing for that experience. They are not trying to get more clientele. They are not trying to break barriers. So, like I said before, entrepreneurs must figure out their own solution by themselves. And they must be able to develop the right balance to guarantee the brand survival and preservation. Alright, I think I'm done. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Eke. Thank you. That was amazing. how you were able to tell us a lot about some of these businesses that are already doing so well in our country, and that's one thing that we don't talk a lot about or enough about. Mr. Eddie mentioned initially that, you have to, the economy of Nigeria, or like the economy of business in Nigeria, is very harsh. You have to be very involved with it and show that, okay, you know what you're doing. And it's very important for us to also recognize that you have to constantly develop yourself as a business owner. The success of your business is dependent on you as an individual. You have to constantly upgrade, innovate, grow yourself, gain knowledge and experience. Mr. Bomosa mentioned this a lot of times. You have to put all this knowledge and all the seminars and the courses you have attended into practice so that you can gain experience. And when you fail at something, it doesn't mean that you cannot continue. This also has something to do with the mindset that we have towards business. Sometimes we make the mistake of doing business for a couple months, 6 months, 1 year, because we're not getting money. Not for us, maybe we should go get it or something like that. But it's very important for you to stay and persevere and learn from your mistakes or from the failures. So these were very amazing points. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna open the floor for some questions. I'm sure that we have some questions. Mr. Eddie gave us a lot of points, and Mr. Ike as well. Okay, so if you have a question, you can just go ahead and unmute your mic and just, talk to us.
Okay, I have a question. Hello, can you hear me?
Good evening,
Hello? Okay, my name is Annie. I have a question for the first speaker, that is Mr. Eddie. He was talking about some persons that have interest in a lot of things, and like people that love doing a lot of things. So, for example, let's say someone has interest in tailoring and catering, and he was also talking about securing a name. How do you get a business name for that kind of person that has interest in two things? Will you have business name for different business name for each of them, or you have a name that can maybe stand for the two?
Can I go ahead to answer the question now, or we just wait for you to ask all the questions and then we answer the questions?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, Miss Annie, please, are you done with your question? Do you have more questions?
Yes, I'm done. I'm done with the question.
All right. So let's, in order to save time, I believe that if any other person has questions, Eddie or our speakers would note down this question and we can respond to all of them. So if any other person has a question, please.
Okay, I have a question too. Hello.
Yes, please, you can go ahead and talk for us.
Okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. Miss Ikan Lucia Eboku, and thank you so much to our speakers. Gotten so much value from what has been talked about today. Mr. Eddie, there's one striking thing that you mentioned that I learned concerning noticing when people come to a solution, and the chances are you can actually make a business out of it. That is something that resonates with me. My question here, in relation to our theme of self-leadership to entrepreneurship, I'm understanding that there are certain aspects of you as an individual that you must be aware of and be in control. What are the specific things that you probably have experienced or you would advise an aspiring entrepreneur to conquer in order to succeed? Thank you. from your own point, like as a person or as an individual, from something that you feel you would advise us to get a hold of first in order for us to succeed as entrepreneurs. Then I have a question for Mr. Ikonsa as well. Should I go ahead to get back, or when we're done with this side?
Yes, please just go ahead and tell us the question.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ikonsa. You talked about the fact that there are several opportunities in the Nigerian economy where you can actually find yourself and just find a category that you can fit into, and how profitability is somewhat directly proportional to expansion and growth. So I'd like to ask, what if I go in Nigeria, say clothing industry, for example, and then I seem not to be doing well in that business at all? Should I stay and then try to make it work, or should I focus on something else that I feel I would succeed better in? Other ways, where do I get to draw the line? How can I really say that, okay, I have stayed long enough to know that this business is not viable for me, and I can, try to do something else? Or do I need to stay put for probably a year, 2 years, or thereabouts? So those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lucia. So, please, does any other person have a question? All right. For the sake of time, I believe that's all the questions we can take for now. If you have any other questions, you can also put us on our pages and send us a DM or write a comment in our post on our send it feedback and talk about any questions that you have and we'll respond. I'm going to leave the floor open for our speakers to respond.
Okay, so who goes first?
Mr. Eddie, you can go ahead.
Okay, I'll just go first because I need to ask. Like what? You don't need to have multiple names or multiple business. Except the business they are knowing. Except the business are knowing the same field. Now, what I'm trying to say is, let's assume you have a business in aviation. You have to travel to you might want to consider there's some names that are pretty generic. There was many things about them. Hold on. Hold on. I want to think about if you are not speaking, can you put off your mic? You're very what Mr. Eddie saying.
Thank you, please. If you are not speaking, please put off your mic. Please, Mr. Eddie, go ahead.
Okay, so let me just go over the question again. Like I say, there is no need having so many business names registered. As long as the business, if you have business and both business they are similar, a single name that is generic that can cover for many, and can establish many business owners. So if I want to consider that, I'm getting it. Except the only reason for you to want to start having different business names is maybe the business are in different domain, extremely different domain. Maybe one is in real estate and the other one is in aviation. Or one is in real estate, one is in travel, or one is in real estate, and let's see, the other one is in school. So those ones are far apart. You can have different names. But cake baking, event management, fashion designing, they are almost the same domain. You can always have all of them generic. Just have a generic name. You can cover for many things for them. Then the second question was, what do you need to cover? What do you need to personally in order to be successful in business? First thing, like we always say, is knowledge. You need to get knowledge. Once you get knowledge, your confidence will increase. Like you boost your confidence. So like my partner I was saying, you get knowledge. Like the business you want to run, get knowledge about that business. Don't just venture into anything. Okay, I have 5 million. Let me go and put that into this business. Maybe you want to be a fashion designer. You don't know how to sew. really not the best, or even if you must not sew, at least you need to just have some basic knowledge. So once people you are employing to be your tailor, they want to wear. So when even if you are trying to cheat, you will definitely know. So try to have knowledge. When you have knowledge, it boost your self confidence. Like it. And that you must also learn to compromise what called shyness. It just means I think anybody that's above the female should not be shy. And that we must so learn to conquer so called the fear of failure. What's the word? Like I told my friends, what's the worst that will ever happen? We fail and so you are not the first, not be the last. So someone will still fail again tomorrow. So just forget about failure. If you fail, don't feel bad. That's happened is that happen and then move ahead. So those three things, get knowledge, getting knowledge of skill yourself. Two, just what's it called? Overcome shyness. Just overcome shyness. Finally, forget about failure. No, it's like everybody leaders compromise us to do so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
What I want to say about the question I was asked about, for example, you are into a business and you are not making money, should you stay or you should close the business? Like I said before, the cost of the position, and very, if I'm to meet that person, or if I'm to look into that business in particular, I might be able to find out why the person is not making money. Because in the Nigeria state, using tailoring as an example, it's not possible for you to be and you don't make profit. Even if you are not a tailor, you can be into the tailoring business. You can be into the tailoring business and don't tailor. You just be a creative designer and you will make money. For example, let me say the example I used before, you have a business. The basic amount that good tailors take for producing a cloth is about 15,000, 10,000, 15,000. I'm not talking about, of course, we have some tailors that the client brings the cloth or brings the clothes, he or she pays 15,000 naira to sew the cloth. The amount that is given for male clothes for the trouser is about 25,000 naira. 25 plus 40,000 naira, that's about 65. 15,000 minus 65, that's about 8,005 net and profit. Let's say out of that 85, you spend another 2,000 as operation cost for that, for in executing that that particular dress or that cloth. Let's say yes, for a particular pair of cloth, instead of 85, okay, you are getting about 6,000 or 65 as profit. Is that with that basic calculation, you can replicate for every other clientele or for every other client you have. You get the only problem I can see why the person is not making money is either the person is not good in tailoring, in which now the person has to go for training because he is a tailor, or the person is not good in being a creative designer, or marketing, or speaking about your business, or packaging, which can be learned. You get, so the solution is not really just to close your business and go. You look at the problem. Why are you not making profit? Why are you not making profit? And you try to solve it systematically. I hope that answers your question. Hello?
Okay, sir. I think yes, I can hear you. Thank you very much for that insight. What if it's not in the clothing industry per se? Because I just use that as a random example. there are some kind of businesses that you probably get into, like e-commerce, for example, that's kind of technical, and you just realize that you're struggling in the business, and probably you can do something else that is much more easier to conquer, but you like the e-commerce industry, and it's something you really want to venture into. So I was trying to find out, like, at what point do you draw the line? Do you just like keep on trying to make sure you have that niche or get that success in that particular business, or you can move on to something else? So you may not necessarily be in the clothing industry. Thank you, sir.
There's nothing bad in moving into something else or moving from there. But for me, I feel the point in which you have to move away is the point when you are no longer interested in the business. Not because you are not making profits. Because every single business problem has a solution. For example, e-commerce. Because one thing about business is that you cannot generalize a single solution for everything. Let me use e-commerce as an example. You're into e-commerce and you're not making enough profit. Those people that are into e-commerce are making profit. How do they do it? You have to understudy. That's why mentorship, training, learning is important. You have to understudy what they are doing right and how you can adopt and adapt what they are doing into your own business. You get, so that you can also get the result they are getting. From adapting and adopting, you can now innovate what they are doing and even make it better. But if you are not, maybe you are discouraged or anything, but as far as you are still interested in the business, you can always learn one or two things to improve it. Except you are not interested, in which you have to go into other business. It's not a bad thing to end a business and go into other one. It's not a taboo. A lot of big companies do it. A lot of entrepreneurs do it. You get. I was into events and management before. You get, for years. Even while I was in school, I was into events. I organized big shows, big events, do weddings and all that. But I got bored, so I left. It's not like I left. I still get the job, but I just pass it on to my friends in the industry. So that's it.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Ike. Thank you so much, Mr. Eddie. You guys have been amazing. I also want to thank everybody else that has stayed with us so far. It is so great to see people on trying to gain knowledge. The fact that you're here shows that you are putting in the work to get something, whatever what you're doing. So it's really great to have been part of this thing, and I appreciate everyone that has been with us to this point. Just to quickly round up the presentation, just my last share that one thing is to recognize is and majority of the successful businesses that get successful in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And the society of before they figure out their niche and really start something they're looking for. Keep at it and also seek help. Like I said, and always so find someone that can talk to them about it and talk to them to understudy their business and figure out how to implement whatever strategy they are using in theirs for yours as well. So thank you so much everyone for staying with us so far. If you have any other questions or you will also be great for us to get any feedback from you. Follow us on our IG at NNY on IG and Facebook, and just share your feedback on our post about this training tonight. Thank you so much everyone. I think this is where we draw the curtain on the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Eddie. Thank you, Mr. Ikomusa. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Eddie. Thank you, Mr. Ikomosa. It was nice having you guys with me.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone.